what? You failed, man. What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it? It happened. We're going to stay committed and stay committed to the process.
Man, I thought the Lions were going to the Super Bowl.
That'll do it. The
1 week. That's all that's left between right now and live football. Lions fans and Detroit's training camp just handed us a storyline that absolutely nobody had circled on their bingo card heading into August. Forget the names you expected to dominate the headlines this week. There's a player quietly climbing the depth chart right now who could completely reshape how this defense looks by the time September rolls around. There's a veteran offensive lineman making a legitimately serious case to start ahead of a former first-round pick. And there's a tight end who just gave this offense the exact injection of depth it desperately needed, right when it needed it most. So buckle up, because Detroit Scope is breaking down every single one of these developments, plus giving you the full rundown on which position battles are already decided and which ones are still completely wide open heading into preseason. Let's kick things off with the news that genuinely could not have landed at a better moment for this offense. Tight end Tyler Conklin has passed his physical and is expected to come off the physically unable to perform list. And folks, this is a massive get for a position group that has been absolutely bleeding depth all camp long. Conklin picked up a calf injury back in the spring, and the expectation heading into camp was that he'd be sidelined for a good chunk of it. Instead, he's already trending back toward the field, and the timing is almost too perfect because this tight end room has taken some brutal hits over the last couple of weeks. Veteran Anthony Ferkser landed on injured reserve with a broken leg. Miles Killebrew went down with a leg injury of his own and ended up on IR right alongside him. Detroit had to scramble just to keep numbers up at the position, adding a body off the street and bringing a familiar face back into the building for depth. So when you step back and look at the full picture here, Conklin coming back ahead of schedule isn't just a nice to have. It's a genuine necessity. We all watched exactly how fast this offense can spiral into trouble at tight end when injuries piled up last season. And this front office is clearly not interested in letting that same nightmare repeat itself twice. Now let's get into the real meat of this story, because a recent breakdown of Detroit's roster identified exactly which position battles across this team are settled and which ones are still very much alive. And buried inside that breakdown were some genuinely fascinating nuggets. 2 battles considered over. For others, still raging. And within those 4 undecided battles, there's a level of intrigue that should have every single Lions fan sitting up straight. First up, right tackle. And this one is downright captivating. Rookie Blake Miller, Detroit's first-round investment, is doing exactly what you'd expect a rookie tackle to do at this stage of his development. Flashing legitimate upside on some reps, then getting exposed on others. Growing pains, in other words, the kind every young lineman goes through. Dan Campbell has been crystal clear that Miller is going to keep his grip on that starting job and get every opportunity to claim it outright, and we should absolutely respect that logic. A first-round investment deserves the runway to develop into what the front office drafted him to become. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Larry Borom has been an absolute problem out there in the best way possible. Every single day in one-on-one blocking drills, and Detroit runs a ton of them, Borom just keeps winning. Over and over and over again. According to beat reporting out of Allen Park, this genuinely looks like an open competition between Miller and Borom right now, and Borom brings something to the table that a rookie simply cannot match yet. 38 career starts across 63 games, including 11 starts for Miami just last season. He's rotated seamlessly between left tackle, right tackle, and the 6th offensive lineman role, and he reportedly finished a perfect 4 for 4 in his one-on-one pass rush reps. Look, we get it. Miller has the higher ceiling as a former first-round pick, and Campbell is not about to bench him prematurely off a handful of August practices. But make no mistake about it. If this offensive line ever needs a tackle to step in and protect Jared Goff without missing a beat, Larry Borom has more than proven he's worth every single penny of that contract. This front office found a genuine steal in free agency, and it's already paying dividends before the preseason opener has even kicked off. Next up is the storyline that might be the most fun of the entire camp. And honestly, we've been telling you to watch this name for over a month now. Keep your eyes locked on cornerback Nick Whiteside. We know DJ Reed is the unquestioned CB1 heading into this season. That part is completely locked in, no drama there. But the battle for that CB2 spot is turning into one of the most entertaining position battles on this entire roster. Rock Ya-Sin is the presumed frontrunner given his veteran experience, and he's going to get every opportunity as the established vet in that room, having stepped in admirably last season when injuries hit that secondary. Ennis Rakestraw is very much in the mix too, showing real flashes mixed in with the kind of inconsistency you'd expect from a young corner still working his way toward full-time snap counts. But Nick Whiteside has been the name earning legitimate, unsolicited praise from Dan Campbell himself, day after day of camp. And here's the thing, we called this a month ago. Whiteside has the physical profile of a starting caliber NFL cornerback, and in limited chances last season, he graded out by the eye test as arguably the best performing corner on the entire roster in his lone extended look. One real opportunity. That's all he got. And he made the absolute most of it. Now he's back for a full offseason and a full training camp, playing with the kind of confidence that only comes from a guy who knows he belongs. Campbell himself has said this competition is about to get interesting. And if Whiteside keeps this trajectory going, do not be shocked if he ends up locking down a real role in that cornerback rotation. There's a legitimate path here for him to become a lot more than just a depth piece, and that's exactly the kind of surprise story that makes training camp must-watch content. Worth noting, too, veteran Roger McCreary has been quietly doing his job without much fanfare in that room, which for a newly added veteran is honestly a good sign. Sometimes no news at a position means everything's running exactly as it should. Now let's shift over to the edge rusher room, where the battle for that second starting spot opposite Aiden Hutchinson remains completely up for grabs. DJ Wonnum is in the mix, as expected. Peyton Turner is there too, when healthy, which has admittedly been the recurring question mark of his entire career. Tyler Lacey continues to get run at that spot as well. But the name generating the most buzz right now is Ahmed Hassanein, and if you caught our last breakdown, you already know just how disruptive he's looked out there this camp. It genuinely feels like Wonnum should be the favorite given his experience level, but the way these reps are being distributed across the room, this competition is far from settled. And then there's rookie Derek Moore, who looked like he might have been building some real momentum in that same competition before landing on the injury list with a minor strain expected to keep him out for roughly a week to 10 days. That's a tough break for a rookie trying to establish early camp momentum. But this early into the process, there's still plenty of runway for him to make his case once he's back to full health. At defensive tackle, this isn't so much a battle as it is a genuine reason for optimism heading into the season. Alan McNeil and Tyleik Williams have both been drawing serious praise for physical transformations heading into this year, and the offensive linemen going up against them in practice have reportedly been talking about just how much more disruptive both guys look compared to a year ago. When your interior defensive line is generating that kind of buzz from the actual players blocking against them every single day, that is about as good a sign as you can get heading into the regular season. And finally, we've got a battle that appears to already be decided, and it's at left guard, where Christian Mahogany has been putting together an excellent start to camp. Mahogany came into this offseason saying all the right things, openly admitting last year simply wasn't good enough, and that he had to go out and earn his role back. Well, it looks like he's doing exactly that. He's been winning the clear majority of his one-on-one reps, including multiple wins over Alan McNeil, and by multiple accounts, Mahogany has been genuinely excellent in these drills, to the point where McNeil reportedly looked visibly frustrated after losing to him a second time. Obviously, we want to see this consistency carry through the rest of camp, but right now, all signs point to Mahogany locking down that left guard job, and that's a huge development for an offensive line that desperately needs continuity up front heading into the season. So let's zoom all the way out and put this together, Lions fans. In the span of about a week and a half of training camp, we've gotten a tight end back ahead of schedule to shore up a banged-up position group. We've watched a formerly overlooked veteran tackle push a first-round pick for a starting job. We've got a cornerback nobody outside of Detroit was talking about a month ago, now legitimately competing for a starting caliber role. And we've got real, tangible optimism building on both lines of scrimmage. This is exactly what you want to see out of training camp. Genuine competition at multiple spots, depth pieces stepping up the moment injuries hit, and surprise contributors forcing their way into the conversation. That's the sign of a well-built, well-coached roster, and it should have every single Lions fan fired up for what's coming down the pipeline. And through it all, this offense still runs through Jahmyr Gibbs, who remains the engine of everything Detroit wants to do, the highest paid running back in the league right now, and the guy every one of these position battles is ultimately trying to protect and complement. We want to know what you think, though. Drop a comment down below and tell us this. Who do you think ends up winning the right tackle battle, Blake Miller or Larry Borom? And while you're down there, let us know if you think any of these young guys, Whiteside, Hassanein, Mahogany, are going to see real, meaningful snaps once preseason football actually kicks off. We read every single comment, so don't be shy about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and drop your prediction below. And if you haven't subscribed to Detroit Scope yet, now is the perfect time. We're working hard to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we cannot get there without you. Every subscribe genuinely helps this channel grow and keeps us covering this Lions training camp from start to finish, every practice, every roster move, all the way into the regular season. Thanks for watching, Lions fans. We'll see you in the next one.